Alright, we are back on the CyberDefenders platform, working on the QRadar101 exercise. Challenge? Challenge, I think. We left off knocking out the, challenge. The first 12 of 24 questions in regards to this particular portion. And we had just established the time for the first malicious connection to the domain controller. So, move on to question 13, where we are looking for a malicious file, which kind of makes me wonder as to whether or not starting in 9, it might be one of the other hashes. So let's bring QRadar back up. So let's get rid of this. Well, what can we get if we just search hash? Can we get anything? Not a damn thing? Really? What if we do hash in the asterisks? Nothing. Length would make me think that it is... Well, they want MD5. So... So I can't do a quick filter of hash. I can't do a quick filter of MD5. I would have to think that this would be... When we get process create, would we not have, like, file create? Yeah, because it's like, okay, we get file creation. Don't get it from that. Alright, but the adjusted results. Does it? Nothing changes. Okay. Add filter. We're gonna go back to our payload contains MD5. Anything? Okay, we got a couple different things here. Looks like file create stream hash. Yes, right here. Firefox, where they downloaded the important instructions.docx, and the MD5 starts with a 9. Okay, I mean, that seems like that might actually be exactly what we're looking for. Yes. And is this Word doc known? Word doc is not known. At least not in VirusTotal. Dang. Oh, well. What is the MITRE persistence ID used? T something or other. So we need to try to find various types of persistence. There's only 26 items here for any of this. Okay, well, let's see. Did they dump files anywhere that we can at least try to get some sort of assertion? This looks like a JPEG, according to the payload. It's the JPEG. So it's like, did we get notification of something dropping in terms of like in like a startup location on the file system? I'm not really seeing that. I mean, we got Windows Teams. And we go back to this. So yeah, I don't think they really dropped a file then. um, so payload contains schedule. Update. So I'm looking to see as to whether or not if we've got anything in here that would denote um, it's basically flagging for the scheduler. Yeah, we don't get anything there, but we got 72 items to dig through. Go scheduled tasks. Anything here? Delete. Customer experience program. Kind of be what I would expect to see. Okay, if they didn't do it by task scheduler. What if I just search for run? Because typically what you would end up seeing, okay, if it's not task scheduler, if it's not something dumped in the various locations on the local file system for auto start, like the start menu, there's a startup folder there, there's one for all users. What, this is Windows time? It's not synchronized the Windows, dang, here I was, it's like, oh, maybe this is it. Let's try this. Give me this. What about payload contains run? It's usually capitalized. Well, we got 323 items from there. So I guess let's take a look. So, do me a favor, just where's run in here? Right? Yeah, no. So we have the Windows Defender. Let me guess, because it's run.exe. DNS, runtime broker, service entering the running state. Yeah, thanks. When HTTP web proxy auto discovery. Start activity attempted. PowerShell trying to do something, but I don't see that as establishing persistence. Yeah, we need to try to narrow this down more. So, payload contains, what is it typically? What is it? Current version, say, run. Let's try to, oh, okay, I mean, this is, what if I would have been, if I should put asterisk. Okay, we got PowerShell doing registry modification. It's setting looks like they've actually got a rule created. Rule name T1060. So persistence. I don't suppose that ends up being T1060. Oh, I'm looking at tactics. Techniques might be more where I should be looking. Is it actually match though? Miter attack. T1060. Picus security as opposed to not actually through miters. So T1060 registry run key startup folder. Yeah, that does not look valid. So apparently there must have been a change for that. But yeah, rule name 10 or T1060. Current version run gibberish and it's pointing to a VBS file in C Windows temp. Yeah, no, there's badness right there. So then if T1060.0.0.1 so what if it's the updated one instead of what the QRadar is reporting as T1060. So let's try it with the Picus up. Yeah, okay. It's the updated one. What protocol is used? Perform host discovery. It starts with an I. Oh, let's see. The first compromised box was what? 192.168.10.15. So let's do this. Let's go add a filter. I want source IP. do anything. And then filter on seek. Because then what we should see is that box reaching out to a bunch of internal ones. Oh. Yeah, it's just doing TCP. Would it be NetFlow record? I suppose. Filter. I don't care about port 80. Let's knock out the... Four, five. Oh. Oh. Oop, I heard myself breathe into the microphone. Trying to think, like, what else? Well, knocked off a couple of different portions. It's like I'm just trying to think, like, what else? Oh my god. I'm not even capturing the window. Sitting there, digging through the portion, looking for something for Proto. So basically, they just ping sweep the network since ICMP is so then would it actually show up with a destination port or Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Look into ICM. I mean, we found the answer, but I want to be able to confirm. There it is. Make sure that it's going through. So destination port 0. But then we notice that the IP address is constantly ratchet up as it goes through. So if we expand out and take a look, we can confirm, yeah, protocol, ICMP. It took me a second to remember. Yeah, there's not a port that ICMP works on since it's an integral part of the IP portion for TCP/IP. So 0. Once we get that basically trimmed down, we see as it works its way. Well, at least we're able to confirm. Okay, what's next? What is the email service used by the company? One word that apparently ends in a 5. A word that ends in a 5. Sure. Well, if we need to figure out what that's doing, let's start clearing filters. Doesn't need to be Seek, I wouldn't think. And then we would be looking for, oh, we want low level. We don't. Destination port is not port 0. It's not port 3. Here we go. Port 25. It should be SMTP, right? Let's clear everything else out. And then all we get is, so we got 29. They're all port 25. Yeah, 25, 587, 465, or 25, 25. Or it could be 995 or 110. It just depends as to whether or not if it's like pop or anything else like that. So what if we just did like mail? Of course, because heaven forbid we actually get something that is just that simple. That's fine. Um, SMTP. Should be a typical aspect that would be used. Okay, so we got a couple of things here we can take a look at for SMTP. So DC timeout was reached. What? Oh, for waiting for the SMTP blah 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 service. This is what, DNS? Nope, just a connection out PowerShell. Port 25. It looks like it's going to that 192.20.80.25. And we get a destination name back. So that doesn't help. Source or destination port equals any of 25. 587 46 465 25 25 110 995. Nine nine three would be a optional one. Add filter. Alright, so we get a connection log of our DC back out to the attacker. And then the attacker doing 25 in. Boot and scoot around the time, please. Yeah, so they emailed in. Which triggered a Trojan signature? Possible Metasploit payload, common structure bind. But just not enough to actually stop anything. But it alerted. Is this the important instructions or whatever it was that we were? say for certain. So yeah, that's not going to give us anything, which sucks. These are all internal, so that's not going to do anything there. So clear that filter. Um, oh, it's a lot of destination port zeros. Filter. Destination port equals 80, 80, 80, and 443. Maybe they're not using like Outlook or something else like that. Maybe they're doing something else. So we got Zeek Webflow, for sure. Microsoft Crypto, Digicert, Microsoft, Firefox, Google, Digicert, let's encrypt, Entrust, let's encrypt GoDaddy, Amazon. Microsoft Update. CentOS. Weather. So stuff for certs. Back with the CentOS stuff. Hey, baby girl. I'm surprised by the amount of 80. I suppose they're saying like 80-80. No, not so much. Alright, so what do we have for like the biggest? So with top 10 destinations, 192.168.20.21, which is QRadar. The next is 35. 75 counts for that. So, like, if we just do who's the biggest talker? This has got 75 hits out of all that. Assuming it didn't get cut off. This is going to be a Microsoft IP, isn't it? No, it's Google Cloud. Office 365. It's the only thing that's got a 5 at the end. So that was just basically a mad hunch. So let's take a look. What else do we have? So let's see. That is Google. The next biggest one, 151, 101, 0, 133. Is that Google or is that Microsoft or is that Amazon? Vastly. Okay, what's the next biggest one? 35, 196, 217, 93. Google Cloud. Okay, so then how can we prove this point? It's like, yes, great, I got the answer. But it's only because of the fact that Office 365 is the only thing that fits and ends in a 5. So, like, if we go through and we do destination port is like 53. So we get DNS, and then we add a payload contains .65. Because we're doing it by destination IP. Switch it back over. DNS. Where's 365? At the thing. Yeah, that doesn't help a whole hell of a lot. Payload contains any of. Okay. Outlook. Office. Microsoft. Oh, 365. Exchange. So the typical stuff you would go through. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I would think there would be Microsoft IPs. It would be at the higher portion, but it's like it's all CloudFront and Amazon and Fastly and Google. So I don't know. Now we come back to the malicious file that we were looking for. We're back to that. Really? Not like a quick hit for. Oh, don't. That doesn't change it. It's like I know that it. It's like the hash shows up. Otherwise, right, fine. We will just set up the log source then, and we should be able to find it in there, right? Somewhere. Local bridge. Firefox. Yeah, right here. And then, of course, the hash matches. I don't know why it's not able to search. But we get the important underscore instructions.docx, which matches that hash. Is the name of the new user account added by the attacker? suppose it'd be so simple as add user. Pages. Well, I mean, at least something fell out from that. um, event is 4720. I don't suppose it would just going to be that that simple to just say 4720, would it? That's what it should be, according to that. Okay, let's do this. Knock that out. Add filter. Payload contains 4720. $33 items, with only one of them being success audit. A user account was created. Event ID custom account was added. So please tell me we've actually got hit Rambo. Nice. John Rambo. Was the PID of the process that performed injection, name of the tool used for lateral movement. Attacker extracted one file. What is the name of the tool used for exfiltration? Who's the other legitimate domain admin other than administrator? Oh boy, these last ones are probably going to be a pain in the posterior. So we need to find injection. So we're going to go back to what? Probably the infected host. Let's clean this up. So we're going to add the filter. Source IP of the 192.168. 192.168.10. Yeah, and then filter on event name is process create. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, 239 items. Jeez. Okay, let's see. Task. SVC host. Okay, so somewhere around here is where we're going to start expecting to see some crap fall out. This is what? This is just opening the Word document. So we get a process creation for this thing to basically spin up. So this is the end result after the stuff. So process ID is 7384. Well, starts with 7. Oops. Bring that up. So this is through the dropout. So still the same time range that we're searching. We're looking for process create in order for there to be some sort of injection. And then basically the source IP is the machine that basically starts the infection. So it gets that important instructions, opens it, and then we start seeing crap flowing everywhere. And that was somewhere around 10:30. So there's word. And we get this weird F set PBEUSLEK.exe. And if we go down into the payload, we can find the process ID of 7384. Of course, I suppose I should make sure that 7384 actually is the answer that they want here. Let's go back to the drawing board. Okay. Excuse me. So we gotta find lateral movement. Is the next. Looks like it starts with a W and then ends in, no, so it's a Python file. So I don't suppose that we would get so lucky. VMware resolution, C script. So I don't suppose I could just do like a quick search for pi? Yeah, it's worth a shot. Would it necessarily be process create? Payload matches regular expression dot pi. Apparently I was going to hope for too much. Doesn't show up at all, so maybe it'd be better just contains. pi as opposed to the regular expression. Payload contains dot pi. Well, we get 2, so maybe we get Trojan. So we get .py. And that's it. I mean, the common thing that I can think of for that movement would be in packet. It does look like there should be something that starts with the W. Okay, just basically took just a wild stab. So I went looking through, just done a wild goose chase effectively, but apparently it's in the right boat. See as to whether or not, because I vaguely recalled that Impact it was a bunch of Python. And just took a look at what started with W. And WMI exec was about the only thing that fit, since it has started with W. It's only a certain amount of characters and ends in .py. And I am entirely lost as to how we would remotely prove that that was fired off. It's like if you hadn't been on the receiving end of this previously, I'm not entirely sure as to what would kind of trigger it off. Yeah, and that's the problem. Is outside of that, there's no WMI exec.py that shows up in payload contains. What about just WMI? Yeah. Yeah, not having much luck. I was gonna take a look to see for command.exe and PowerShell.exe. See if there would be any sort of child parent process with what is it the CrowdStrike article talks about? WMIPRVSE. So apparently parent should be WMIPRVSE.exe, and then child processes should be like CMD or PowerShell, and that would give us indication of what we're looking for there. It looks like seeing CMD with Q and C would be part of that, which kind of like what we see here, except I don't see. Of course, here's that sammy.xlsx again, the singular file that was uploaded. So it looks like this is actually in packet going off. The problem is, how would we be able to confirm that through here? The problem is I don't see a portion where it talks about like parent process. Something's picking up various other aspects. That's just it. I mean, the whole aspect here is that we're just, nothing that we have is apparently logging well enough. Yeah, 27 items, but yet. Yeah, it's still at Dell.Sammy. Yeah, that looks like the only thing that they're interested in. And they did it using curl. Actually, no, I know how. We were looking at it not that long ago. Desktop. So yeah, apparently, I'll include a link to the CrowdStrike portion. Hopefully you'd have better endpoint detection than just Sysmon for this particular aspect to be able to put everything together. But looking for cmd.exe/q/c would usually be, I guess, something else you could kind of try to alert on. I'm looking for the curl aspect again. It was one of these. There's the delete. Yeah, right here. Using curl exput upload file sammy.xls. So at least we're getting some of this. Excuse me. Oh. Okay. We're looking for, what is the other legitimate domain? Admin. Other than administrator. Okay. So we had what, 4760 was new user created? Let's take a look. So then we would want to see if new assigned. All right, so we're gonna change, flip the script a little bit here. We're gonna do add filter. We're gonna do payload. Contains 4672. Okay, and then can we go by username for the display? So we got Rambo, we got Adam, we got administrator. So let me do this. Was it 4760? No. 7620? No, not. I need account creation. Crap. Account management. Yeah, 4720. for that one, and then 4672 as effectively the best guess. That's what's going on in the background. I will include links in the description for these particular aspects. They all go back to the same site anyways, the Ultimate IT Security. They've got an encyclopedia of Windows event logs that I typically reference. Or if I can't remember exactly what I'm looking for, you can go through by various. They've got a picker, although I guess I could just kind of move that out of the way. So like if you have no idea what you're looking for, you can do all event IDs. And then basically you've got the list of everything there, but if you're looking for something like, I was trying to remember the account creation, so account management, that'll give you all those particular ones there, but then obviously you can see underneath account management 4720, the user account was created, along with everything else that's pretty much lined up. It's a very nice site to keep around in your back pocket. So then Adam would be the other one. 4 characters, yes. And we got that by looking for the 4672. And then by changing the display to username. So we get administrator, TWM-1, Adam with a capital A, local service, Adam with lowercase a, and Rambo. Well, Adam is the only 4 character that's there. The attacker used the host discovery technique to know how many hosts available in a certain network. What is the network the hacker scanned from host 1 to 30? Host discovery technique. I mean, we know that, was it 10.15? Went through and did a scan because we saw all the ICMP stuff. So then we're trying to figure out which segment they scan that only would be to 1 to 30 then? Is that, I think that's how I'm reading it. So we're going to assume source IP is the compromised host 10.15. And then we're going to then assume that the destination IP, no, destination port is going to be 0 because they did ICMP to sit there and scan the hosts. So then you would be looking at what we would want a destination IP. What did they scan? Up to 30. There's only 36 items. I mean, the only thing that makes sense would be 192.168.20 dot 20.1 to 20.30. Because that's the only thing that that we've got. No other segment is even in here nearly as much to sit there and count up. But yeah, it stops at 30. So I'm assuming this is gonna be what 192.168.20.0. Okay. And what was the name of the employee who hired the attacker? Starts with an S. Sammy. So from that search, they uploaded Sammy.xlsx. The only other S that I've seen is Sarah, but it's not 4 characters. Because that was SARAH. So let's see if kind of makes me really wonder then, okay, what were the contents of that Excel spreadsheet that they found and then nuked? Ooh, nice. I'm gonna mark it as difficult. Only because of the fact of having to sit there and not being able to find like the logs for Office 365. If it had not been given as the last character of the name of they were looking for was a 5, I don't think I would have gotten it. Because there's no, taking a look, payload to contain like Exchange or Microsoft or something, 365, Outlook, whatever. Nothing came back. And it's disconcerting because how else are you going to be able to sit there and determine? And then for the big talkers, it wasn't Microsoft, it was um, Google, it was Amazon, it was Cloudflare, Fastly, so a CDN were the big talkers from this network to them. There wasn't anything from Microsoft that really stood out that much. And then the InPacket, which pretty much just ended up being a blind guess from basic just experience. I mean, some of the indicators are there. I mean, we don't, apparently there's not enough of anything on any of these boxes to be able to pull anything. So like when I did the search for WMI PRVSE.exe, didn't get anything. But going through and looking for command, we do get hits back for cmd.exe /q/c, which is indicative of something that needs to be looked at, and then basically the way the commands are formatted from that particular point. But it's not like anything there really stood out, at least that I could find. I mean, I'm more than willing to sit there and go back through and double check that stuff, but I mean, outside of that, a lot of it all just kind of seemed good, but also the other aspect of not really seeing any other users. Um, so, like for the last question, I mean, just impulse, just given the fact that we'd seen that Excel file a few times going through and poking and prodding at this thing. Much less the fact that, okay, we see that get pulled out, but then name the second system that the attacker targeted to cover up the employee. Well, that was the system that we found was trying to do RM and del to that SAMI.xlsx. So it's kind of not all in metaphorical order, but you effectively, I guess, the more you pay attention to the particulars, the more everything comes together so that way you're able to sit there and make quick hops and leaps in judgment and just basically just like call out that, hey, this looks like this, and this might actually be what something like we're looking for. Like before I even had, or I had the hash for that docx file before realizing exactly what I had. Probably would have been a better idea to take better notes in regards to as to what was observed through X, Y, and Z, but thankfully just doing this back to back was enough that be able to keep most of it here. Although going back to find it was difficult. I think it's partly the interface, I think, for this that's a pain in the posterior. For QRadar, the fact of, I mean, you can go through and have tables generated, everything else like that in Splunk, um, just by specifying how you want the stuff pulled out, just by doing what vertical or new line, vertical line, space, table, and then whatever else, what you want to break these things down by, depending as to how you have everything imported and the names that are being used. Whereas this, you have to go through, pray that a quick filter is going to sit there and have something in there. Have to be extremely mindful as to how you're going through and doing the formation for displays, for having these things put together, the results, limits, everything else. Whereas it is just insanely simple to go through, tell it all time in Splunk, or limit it down and pretty much there it stays. Whereas you notice the few times I had to sit there and bring up a new search, I had to constantly put back in the new start time, end time, everything else along those lines. So I guess technically since we're done, interface problems aside, much less the fact that I had to actually pull the data down and chop it up in order to go through and actually take a look at the stuff inside of Excel to find, okay, the most prevalent SID. It wasn't just something you could just quickly slap stuff together for and have stuff come out. A little bit of my history with this, so it's been used in 3 other organizations that I've worked with. Worked for? Regardless. And most of them, the biggest instance that I can remember was the organization didn't have control over it. It was kind of like a managed service by IBM. And this had been a few years since IBM had purchased it from Q1 Labs. Here's a little bit of history if you didn't know. IBM bought it and then, of course, tried to integrate it and add their own crap to it. But effectively, since they were managing it, it never worked right. And so basically to help develop a very bad taste in my mouth, anytime there was a problem, IBM couldn't help. They had to kick everything back up to the small sliver of Q1 labs that they still had. So basically, the true subject matter experts to go through and try to resolve the problems that we would have, and it was just a continual issue. So effectively, that's why I don't particularly like QRadar. Um, I have talked to people that speak highly of it. They also did not have IBM managing it. They had their own team with the knowledge to go through and pretty much do care and feeding, and it wasn't so much of a problem. But maybe I will sit there and kick around with this and make a third one to kind of elaborate a little bit more in terms of doing searches and everything else like that. But hopefully the person that made the comment about touching base on QRadar in the YouTube comments, hopefully this is enough to, I guess, demonstrate it. Don't know as to whether or not you're going to get much of anything out of it by watching me go through and do this. If you're stuck with QRadar, you have my condolences. Like I've been kind of lucky. The past couple of ones have been like really heavy in Splunk, um, which has been honestly a godsend for a lot of the stuff. Expensive, but it seems to work. Don't really have the problems. Oh, like going through and doing this. I don't know. Maybe it's also a mental thing. Maybe just because the fact that, um, I had such a difficult time with it. I just don't like it. Um, and it just mental block in order to stop any of this stuff from any further absorption into the brain. Um, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of different stuff all relies on like how Splunk goes through for their commands, everything else like that. Because I know that CrowdStrike has a lot of that built in, like the back end language is Splunk. So, but again, neither here nor there, just what it is. But all in all, a very good, if not triggering exercise. But again, that's just me, just because the fact of just not having had the best experience with it or IBM in the past. Um, but so there we go. QRadar 101 on the CyberDefenders platform. All 24 questions knocked out. Um, guess I'd try to go through and see as to how this one performs. If the same person that made the comment in regards to the radar uh, comes back with additional questions, maybe I can just start a dialogue and figure out exactly what they're hoping to see, and so I can try to assist them with that. But past the particular point, I mean, it is just a exercise in frustration. Well, at least for me. Your mileage may vary. But again, so this has been threat hunting for QRadar 101 Blue Team Challenge on the CyberDefenders platform. With all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.